Number 1. Hiking dancer is a woman who's passionate about hiking. She spends a lot of time exploring different trails and shares her adventures on her YouTube channel. While she used to go camping often, most of her recent content focuses on hiking trips. In this particular video, she decides to go solo camping on the Florida Trail. She starts on a side trail known as a Blue Blaze, aiming to reach a section she hadn't explored before. She had tried this part of the trail in the past, but didn't have the best experience. Still, she gives it another shot.
A Blue Blaze right now, trying to get onto the Florida Trail at a different section. This actually was the area I wanted to get to last time I hiked the trail, and I realized it was like the worst trail on earth. I'm giving this trail tries and tries, but this is a cool Blue Blaze from a trailhead, and it is a chillier day today, so I thought I want to try to hike a little bit.
Determined to make it work. It was a cooler day, which made it perfect for a long hike. After walking for hours, she finally finds a good spot to set up camp. She pitches her tent, gets everything in place, and lights a small fire to stay warm. While relaxing by the fire, she makes herself a cup of milk tea.
Just drank some milk tea, and the fire is going out. I could restart it, and probably I will get rid of the final wood that I have near here.
Later that night, as she tries to sleep, she hears all kinds of noises outside.
I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. So many sounds. I guess that was a bunch of coyotes just living their best life. They were really close. And it's actually raining a little bit right now, so it's like 10:30, and I went to bed at like
Among them are the howls of coyotes, and they sound pretty close to her tent. Despite that, she stays calm and doesn't panic. The animals never get any closer, so she doesn't feel threatened. But moments like these can be nerve-wracking, especially when camping alone. It's always smart to carry something for protection just in case. By morning, the mood shifts completely. Birds are singing, and everything feels peaceful again. Subscribe and help us reach 10,000 subscribers. 90% of the people watching have not subscribed yet, so please do, it's free. Number 2. Daniel O'Neill, known online as the English Woodsman, has built a strong following by sharing real outdoor adventures. His videos often show him camping in remote places. Viewers love how down-to-earth and relatable he is. But during one of his camping trips in early 2025, Daniel experienced something that reminded him just how unpredictable nature can be. He had arrived at a private woodland area, excited to try out a second-hand tent he recently got as part of a bundle deal. It was a tent he had always dreamed of owning, but couldn't afford before.
So tonight I'm out doing a permission woodland camp. I'm going to be trying a second-hand tent that I got out of a bundle buy. I got 6 tents for £100, I think it was. So there's one of the tents that is a tent that I always wanted, classed as a dream tent. So it's your tent what you've always wanted, but at times you couldn't. When this tent went out, I could never afford it. There was always an issue when it was on sale. You know, bringing up kids, having a job, it is quite hard, and I think it's still hard to this day, to be truthful. My kids are grown up a little bit now, but I always wanted this tent and I could never ever afford it. Then, like I said at the beginning of the video, I brought a bundle of tents for £100 and this one were in it. Now you can see the damage on the back there. So it's got a clear rip, and there's the clips what's supposed to keep the tent in place. But you can see it's damaged.
With his camera ready and a new twig-burning stove, he planned to spend the night and film the experience. Setting up the tent, Daniel noticed a few small issues.
There's some holes. I've got 1, 2, 3 holes here in the top of the tent, and if it does rain, well, that's the point where it's going to come down. Okay, you can see 2 of them here. There's another one. There, oh, you can see all three now there, look.
Some damage to the bag, clips that weren't working properly, and a few holes in the roof. Still, he went ahead with his camp, made the inside comfortable, and started cooking dinner. The peaceful woodland setting and the simple joy of preparing his food gave him a sense of contentment.
Flavouring. I just wanted to taste the salmon tonight. Many times I've been out and I've cooked salmon and I always feel like I maybe have over-flavoured it. So I'm thinking, you know what? I just want to taste the salmon itself. I don't want no else ruining the taste of it.
Later in the evening, as rain started falling, he patched up the holes with repair patches from his gear. It wasn't a perfect solution, but it would keep him dry for the night.
The rain started, and I've got a small problem with them three little holes. I'm not sure they're going to let a lot of the rain in, but to be fair, I don't want no rain coming in. So I'm going to have to think of the idea of what I was on about earlier. I can find which bag it is. I have these, and these are from the air mat. Stick them over the holes. We're getting there. That's patch number 1 done. Just need to get the next one. We need a bit of a nightmare to peel. I don't know if it's going to be a long-term fix, but at least for tonight, it'll be alright, I think. There we go.
At least, that was the hope. He was already noticing the tent had other problems, like a faulty zipper and questionable waterproofing. But those issues soon became the least of his concerns.
Just been walking by something that seemed to be walking around my tent a bit. And it's watered down up as well because Dan's just messaged me. You know, the guy lines that you pull out, something I felt, no, not that, I don't know, it's just, it woke me up so quick. Raining as well. It just seemed like something just bumped into the tent. And then it was like, sort of like walking around a little bit. Now if I was by myself, I'd be a little bit more nervous, let's say. See, there it is again.
During the night, Daniel was startled awake by the sound of something, or someone, moving around outside his tent. He felt a bump against the side of the tent, followed by the sensation of something walking nearby. The sudden disturbance was unsettling, and though he tried to stay calm, it was clear that something strange was happening outside. By morning, the rain had stopped, and he made coffee while reflecting on the night. He wasn't sure what had caused the noise, maybe an animal, or maybe a person. Whatever it was, it didn't return.
Last night outside his tents. But I'm just going to try to forget about it, to be truthful. I'm alive, it was not bad, take it. I don't know, could have just been somebody walking around trying not to disturb us, something like, I don't know, something like that. This tent needs a lot of work to it. The zip's broken now on the door. It's just, it don't feel like it's waterproof. So I'm gonna have to sort the zip out and then really look after it, give it a fab seal, reseal all the seams on the inside.
The tent had clearly seen better days, and Daniel realized it would need a lot of repairs if he planned to use it again. He packed up and made it home safely, but the mystery of that night remained. While it could have been nothing serious, the uncertainty of what was out there left a lasting impression. Number 3. This video was filmed by Ray Wallace while he was out enjoying nature. In the distance, he noticed something unusual and decided to capture it on camera. The footage, though grainy, appears to show a large dark figure walking across a field with a hunched posture, making it hard to guess how tall it really is. Interestingly, this isn't Wallace's first connection to Bigfoot sightings. Back in 1958, while working on a construction site near Bluff Creek, California, he claimed to have discovered massive footprints, an event that played a big role in launching the Bigfoot legend into mainstream attention. But Wallace's name isn't without controversy. Over the years, questions have been raised about the authenticity of those original footprints. In fact, some of his own family members later said he had faked them, which has cast serious doubt on his credibility. So, as for this recent footage, whether it's real evidence or just another twist in the ongoing Bigfoot mystery, viewers are left to decide for themselves. Number 4. Taryn Outdoors, a channel dedicated to outdoor adventures, posted this video on March 10th, 2025. In it, Taryn shares a personal and unforgettable experience that started off as a typical mountain biking trip but quickly turned into something far more emotional and profound. The setting was Whitefish, Montana, a place known for its breathtaking landscapes and popular trails. It was a perfect day for exploring. Clear skies, crisp mountain air, and trails full of hikers, bikers, and dog walkers. As the group set off, everything seemed routine. They passed people along the way, including a woman walking her dog off-leash. Nothing felt out of the ordinary until they noticed a man ahead on the trail. He was walking alone, dressed in a white shirt and glasses, and as they got closer, they called out the usual "on your left" to let him know they were passing, but he didn't respond.
I started posting my outdoor related content, but the truth is that I have been recording my adventures for many years now. And as I've been going through my old photos and videos, I came across some footage of a mountain bike trip to Whitefish, Montana. And what happened on this day became a memory. Now, if you are a human, you have likely judged another person based off of how they look. And if you're really honest with yourself, I bet you can remember at least one of those times when you have been proven very wrong. Well, this is one of those times for me. Trailhead was busy. There were all sorts of people out and about. You had hikers, you had bikers, you had people walking with their dogs, people running with their dogs off leash, big groups of people walking by themselves, and so on. And when you're on a mountain bike, navigating around them, your eyes are wide open, paying attention to your every move, and often calling out things like, "Excuse me," or "on your left." When we noticed a man up ahead, he was wearing a white shirt and glasses, walking by himself. We called out to him that we were coming up on his left. He didn't react at all. So we called out again, "Hey, we're coming up on your left, excuse me." No reaction. Third time, no reaction, which I thought it was odd. Odd enough for me to make a comment, something along the lines of, "Wow, that guy was creepy," or "Talk about a serial killer."
Not the first time, not the second, not even the third. The complete lack of reaction was unsettling. Although they found it strange, they brushed it off with a nervous joke and kept riding. Eventually, the energy of the ride began to fade, and they decided to head back before exhaustion fully kicked in. As they retraced their path, they expected to maybe see the man again. Instead, they came upon something far more concerning. The same woman they had passed earlier was still on the trail, but this time, she looked visibly frantic. She was walking in circles, scanning the surroundings with panic written all over her face. Even more alarming, her dog was gone. They stopped to check on her, thinking perhaps she was searching for her pet. But then came the shock. She wasn't just looking for her dog. Her husband was also missing. A man with dementia, no cell phone, no way to contact him. And when she described what he was wearing, a white shirt and glasses, it all clicked.
Where I thought, if we don't turn around right this moment, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back to the bike shop. We turned around and headed back. I kind of thought we were going to run into that guy again, but we ended up not seeing him. We did, however, come up on that woman. This time, she looked very frantic. She was walking in circles, looking around. She seemed lost, and she didn't have her dog with her, which prompted us to stop. So we asked her, "Ma'am, are you okay? Are you missing your dog?" And she replied, "Well, I am missing my dog. The dog is with my husband. I'm actually missing my husband. He has dementia and he doesn't have a cell phone on him." We asked her, was he wearing a white shirt and glasses? And she responded, yes. In that moment, I felt two things. One, I felt a lot of guilt because that was the guy with dementia was the guy that I called a serial killer. But I also felt a very strong responsibility to find this man.
He was the same man they had passed earlier. The one who hadn't responded, the one they had casually labeled as odd. Realizing this, Taryn was hit with a wave of guilt. The man wasn't being strange. He was lost and confused. There was no time to dwell on the mistake. They knew they had to act fast, took the woman's number, and promised to help search. What followed was a desperate effort to retrace their route, navigating through the winding trails, hoping to spot him again. The terrain was vast and easy to get lost in, especially for someone already disoriented. After some wrong turns and a growing sense of urgency, they finally made it back to the trailhead. And there, standing alone in the middle of the busy parking lot, was the man. Despite all the activity around him, he looked completely lost, unaware of where he was or what was going on.
Was this man wandering around with the dog by his side. Wow, he's here. Hi, bud. We mentioned who we were and that his wife was looking for him, but he didn't quite understand what was going on even after we explained it to him. After about 30 minutes of trying to call his wife, she finally picked up, and it turned out that they had actually parked on an entirely different trailhead, which was about a 30-minute drive from where we were. So we waited there with him, and when his wife pulled up, her face was much different. Her eyes were lit up. You could tell she was very thankful, and I'm sure very relieved that we were able to locate her husband. We stood there and talked for a bit, and I remember her telling me that if we ever made it back to Glacier National Park, we had to hike a trail called Iceberg Lake.
His confusion was obvious. When Taryn and the group tried to talk to him, he couldn't understand that he was being searched for. The reality was heartbreaking. He hadn't realized he was lost at all. They tried reaching his wife, calling her repeatedly until she finally picked up. And then came another twist. They learned she had parked at an entirely different trailhead, nearly a 30-minute drive away. Her husband had wandered so far off course, it was a miracle he was even still in the area. Thanks to a random encounter and a group of strangers who chose to step in, her husband was safe. A simple ride turned into a lifelong memory. For Taryn, the experience became a personal lesson etched deep in memory, a reminder that assumptions can be painfully wrong. Number 5. These guys were out enjoying a regular day of fishing when things took a wild turn. They cast their lines expecting the usual catch, but instead, they hooked something massive. As the struggle intensified, it quickly became clear. It was a shark. The mood shifted instantly from casual to chaotic.
You have it around.
One of them lost his balance and slipped right off the edge, crashing into the water dangerously close to the thrashing shark. It was one of those heart-stopping seconds where everything hangs in the balance. Anything could have happened right then. Fortunately, he managed to grab onto a nearby rock just in time and pull himself to safety. Shaken but unharmed, it was a close call that turned a fishing trip into a story they'll never forget. Justin, a popular YouTuber known for venturing into mysterious and offbeat locations, set out to explore the eerie Devil's Castle in Turkey, a place wrapped in legends, dark history, and whispers of ancient rituals. He expected a thrilling adventure for his viewers, but what he didn't expect was how quickly things would spiral into something truly dangerous.
Oh no. It's a light. Is this place lit up at night? It wouldn't make any sense though. I mean, obviously the light's here, but the town is way beyond the edge. You can't even see it, so it would be lit up for... I mean, no one will be able...
While setting up camp, Justin noticed the lights around the site weren't working. At first, it seemed odd, especially since the castle was known to stay lit at night. Then he spotted something strange, wires that looked like they'd been intentionally cut. It felt off, but not alarming.
Guys, someone came with a gun and fired shots at the castle. They're firing shots at me. With a flashlight. We gotta hear those gunshots. They don't want me here.
Gunshots rang out in the dead of night. What started as distant pops quickly became terrifyingly real. Someone was firing shots, and it wasn't clear why or at who. Alone and unsure if he was being targeted, Justin messaged a local friend for help. Within minutes, the police were on their way.
Hello. Merhaba.
Michael, where are you from?
From Canada.
Canada.
You made me very slick as a big gun.
Yok, sorun yok. No problem.
No problem.
Müthiş. Hoş geldin. You are welcome. Nereye? Aşağı mı inmiştin?
Yeah.
Çağırdık seni. Sen neredeydin?
Can I make video? No.
When they arrived, They quickly decided to move him to a nearby hotel, away from the site. The real shock came later. Locals had apparently mistaken him for a treasure hunter. These people sometimes sneak into sites like Devil's Castle, damaging them while searching for hidden riches.
I had told them that there was a treasure hunter here. The locals that saw me come in, they saw a strange car park, a guy walk out with all this weird equipment. No one really does this stuff, right? And so they called the authorities. Those authorities came and then saw all the lights off in the castle. Normally there's lights. I thought that it was the lights were here to keep, those damn kids out of the castle, spray painting and having sex. That's what I thought. But no, it's for treasure hunters, because if it's all lit up, the treasure hunters don't come and destroy this place. That's probably why that little cave is blasted in the side, actually, from treasure hunters destroying it. So they came here, they heard there was a suspicious guy, they ran the plates on my rental vehicle, saw it was a rental, and saw a smashed control panel down at the entrance. I saw it walking in again today. So they automatically assumed a treasure hunter came, cut all the lights.
This eerie footage was captured by Joe, a popular YouTuber you might recognize from his channel, Joe Weller. Joe has been creating entertaining videos for over 8 years, captivating millions of viewers with his humor, adventurous spirit, and charismatic personality. While he's known for his fun and adventurous content, Joe isn't just about laughs. He also has a fascination with the unknown. Joe loves exploring abandoned places with his friends, often delving into the eerie world of the paranormal. However, sometimes it's not ghosts they encounter, it's people. And sometimes those people are much more dangerous than anything supernatural. This particular incident took place on July 26, 2014. On what started as a typical sunny day, Joe and his friend Elliot decided to embark on another exploration. This time, venturing into an old, abandoned mental asylum. The asylum had a dark reputation, not because of ghosts, but because of the people who were said to wander inside. Squatters, the homeless, and possibly dangerous individuals. Despite the warnings, the boys were undeterred.
It's an abandoned mental asylum.
Pretty nice, eh?
Yeah, that's what you want. Now, I'd just like to reiterate, this place used to house people that were absolutely mentally disturbed. And yes, many people have died here. Now, our aim in this is to get inside the mental asylum and film one whole YouTube video.
As they filmed the exterior of the asylum, they joked and laughed, treating it like any other exploration they had done before. But this time, something was different. As they stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted instantly. It was as if an invisible weight pressed down on them, and the air felt thick with unease.
What is this? Oh my days, mate. This is just disgusting, mate. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
The jokes and laughter faded, replaced by cautious glances and silent tension. The decaying, dark hallways stretched out before them, echoing with each footstep. It felt as though they weren't alone, but they shrugged it off and continued deeper into the building.
Number 9. Hello? What the was that? Kids. What do we do here? Calyx and Gundigan. wait. Who's that there? Pretty alright, isn't it? Wait, what is that? We're gonna get you here. What's up there? Come on! Take your trousers down! Who's having the banter? Well, this is funny. Wait, imagine if it isn't even like... right, what was it?
Alright, you're just vandalising now.
What are you gonna do?
Trying to shake off the growing discomfort, they set up their camera and tried to distract themselves by talking about football players. It was a feeble attempt to mask their unease, but it worked, at least for a moment. However, their temporary calm was shattered when they heard a loud noise coming from behind a door. The sound was unmistakable. Someone was banging on it. Both of them froze, startled by the sound. They had just entered, and they hadn't heard anyone else. So who could it be? The two of them hurriedly checked the area, but found no one. They moved to the door.
Nothing. Hey, I beg you don't throw anything right now, because we're just coming out. Hello? Is there anyone there? There's no one there. How did they run away so quickly? Hello? There's no one here, mate. There's no one here. The thing that I don't get is it genuinely sounded like someone was banging on the door. You know that door that you shut at the entrance? Yeah. You know, when we first came in, it sounded like someone was banging on that. 20 seconds after the last rock was thrown, we leave the building and there's no one to be seen.
Can't hear anything, yeah.
Like even now, like if it's kids, you would at least hear them like laughing or something. Still, why is there no one here now?
Like look at the escape route. Just film the escape route. You have to come through here and through that gap in the fence. Like you can't do it without making any noise. And we didn't hear any exit.
Still shaken, they left the building and checked the surrounding area, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The open space outside offered no place for anyone to hide, and there was no sound of footsteps or laughter, just eerie silence. That's when it hit them. Whoever had made that noise couldn't have simply vanished into thin air. They were left with a sense of dread, unsure of what they had just experienced or who or what they had encountered.
It's because it sounds like people. It sounded like a person. Like it just sounds so bait that, oh, it's just a kid coming up to the window. How could that be? How could that be? How could that be? And why? The thing that I don't get, mate, it was coming from the window, the only entrance to the house, to the like building. So surely it's just got to be a person throwing something through the window. Like, surely. But then how the f would they escape? How would they escape without making any noise? And then there's no one else here to be seen now. And it sounded like a very young child. Like 10, and it was just one. It was just one person.
Like yeah,
like
this is so. Person, though, what 10-year-old person goes to a mental asylum? First of all, doesn't get shook up by the fact there's noises coming from inside,
and then they threw stuff aggressively in there.
And by the age of that child, I don't think that child would be able to throw stuff that hard. Like that was hard. But surely that's what it is, unless it was like someone older putting on a voice.
At first, they tried to brush it off, joking that it was probably just some kids messing around, but the unease lingered. The realization was hard to ignore. The whole situation didn't add up. It wasn't just about what they had seen or heard, it was the fact that they couldn't explain it. The weirdest part was that the banging had sounded like it came from inside the building, specifically from a window. But how could a child, or anyone, get in and out without making a sound? And why was it just one person? Joe and Elliot started to wonder whether it was even a child at all. The sound was too strong, too deliberate. Could it have been someone older trying to trick them? Ellie and Graham had been travelling across the UK in their camper van for years, always bringing their 3 dogs along for the adventure. But on this particular night, something happened that made them question whether van life was really worth it. After a long day on the road, they found a quiet and secluded spot to park for the night.
To us this week, and that we've had quite a difficult week, and we feel that we really need to explain everything to you. So that's what this vlog is about.
So we took the doggies for a walk, had something to eat after that, and settled in for the night. We watched I'm a Celebrity, didn't we?
Had a bit of a laugh, yeah.
It was quite a fun thing to do, wasn't it? And
a couple of cars came and went during the evening, but no trouble was there. They just came and went after about an hour. And another motorhome turned up, didn't it?
Yeah.
And parked away from us, the other side of the car park, really. But it's only a fairly small car park, to be fair.
Yeah, I'll put pictures up of this so you can actually see what it looked like.
They took their dogs for a walk, had something to eat, and settled in for the evening, watching I'm a Celebrity and unwinding after the day's journey. A couple of cars came and went, but there was no trouble, and everything seemed calm. By 11 p.m, they were fast asleep, but around 1 a.m, a loud, deafening bang jolted them awake. The impact was so powerful that it shook the entire van. Stunned and groggy, they rushed out of bed and opened the door to find the cause of the noise. To their horror, they saw that their van's passenger window had been completely smashed and the windscreen was shattered as well.
With a loud bang, and you dropped something on the floor there. What was that, glass? 2 bricks. And someone's just smashed Merlin's windows while we're sleeping. So no, we don't recommend this as a place to stop. They smashed the windscreen, but Graham's hoping he can drive with that. But here's us in the middle of nowhere, with a broken window and a cracked windscreen, not 200 miles from home. So, pretty awful really. Just don't know what to do. I'm still in shock, literally. Just... we heard this really loud boom, 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 boom music, because we think it was just boy racers. And suddenly the music went quiet, and there was just loud bang, and Graham reckons there was 2 of them, because the bricks hit the van at the same time, and it's pouring with rain.
2 large bricks lay on the ground beside the van, and it became clear that someone had thrown them. With no safe options available, they quickly taped up the broken windows as best they could and started the long 200-mile drive home.
Oh, it's all falling down in the door. God knows how.
Trying to stop it getting any worse.
Yeah.
Still trying to process what had just happened.
It really was quite a frightening moment. First of all, I thought a branch had fallen off a tree onto Merlin, but then I thought, well, hang on, we're not under a tree. So that's when we found out what had really happened.
In the midst of their drive, they stopped at a service station where a worker helped them patch up the window with bags and tape, allowing them to continue the journey. Despite the temporary fix, they were still shaken and in shock, unsure of whether the attack had been a random act of vandalism or something more sinister.
So, we've made our temporary repair. Well, this is the second temporary repair. I've got just enough room there to see my rear view mirror. So, we should be safe to go. We won't be going very fast.
And they began to consider whether it was time to make a major change. Would they continue their adventures on the road, or would this incident be the breaking point? The peacefulness of life on the road had been shattered in an instant. In this strange and puzzling video posted to TikTok by the user at Secret Story New, viewers are met with a scene that feels straight out of a sci-fi movie. The clip quickly went viral. Not because of any flashy effects or loud reactions, but because of what appears to be a mind-bending visual that defies logic. Two dogs can be seen hanging mid-air, motionless, almost as if time had frozen just for them. Immediately, the internet did what it does best: speculate wildly. Some viewers were convinced they had just witnessed a glitch in the Matrix, a rare moment where the fabric of reality briefly malfunctioned. Others tried to keep things grounded, suggesting the dogs might be hanging from tie-out lines, possibly with one of them having jumped over a fence and ended up suspended in this awkward position. But not everyone was buying that explanation. Skeptics took a closer look and claimed there might be something off with the shadows in the video, hinting that it could have been cleverly edited to trick the viewer's eyes. Some even paused the video frame by frame to try and spot any clues, but nothing conclusive ever came out of it.